Hi everyone, it's Penny from FCSS. How's everyone doing today? Coming to you live from a very rainy, cool day. Which, if you live with a farmer, is good. So yeah, back with Caregiver Café Live to chat a little bit about one of the most common questions I hear in my line of work, and a question I also had as a parent myself, which is, why is listening hard for children? How can I get my children to listen, to do what I ask, to be more cooperative? And yeah, why is it so hard for them to listen? So yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about that today. As usual, if you're joining me live and you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you're watching this as a video, please feel free to also comment with a question, or to email me, or to check out our website for more information. And I'll give all that at the end. So we know that relationship is important with children, to encourage cooperation. And that's a whole nother topic for Caregiver Cafe. So today, specifically, what I'd like to share with you are some strategies, some positive parenting strategies, specifically to do with asking your children to do something, and how it can be more successful in getting them to cooperate with that. So as we go through and I chat a little bit about some of the ideas that Triple P has for those things, I'd like you to think about your own family and how you might word or use words, how you might phrase these things. So let's start with why. Why don't kids listen sometimes? Why is that difficult for them? So often they're very busy and involved in their world, their play, their activity. It's quite hard for them to shift their focus, especially younger children. Often it's the way instructions are given. So sometimes there's too many or too few. Sometimes they're too hard, poorly timed requests. So they're in the middle of their favorite program. They're a little bit too vague. They maybe don't understand what you're asking them to do. Proximity is important. So if you're like me, I had a bad habit of yelling from the other room, right? Sometimes it's accidental rewards, which kind of refers to something that they get out of not listening that isn't an intended reward. So if they don't do what they're asked, it might they get what they want, or they get out of doing something they don't want to do. Those are kind of examples of accidental rewards. So yeah, with that in mind, what do you think might be some helpful ways that you could give instructions to your little people that might help them be more successful and to help you stay calm? Because that's a really big component in instructions giving and parenting in general, right? Is, keeping calm, trying not to escalate the situation. So some ideas that parents find helpful, and that research indicates are helpful in asking for what you'd like them to do is, so think about it before you ask. Are you being clear and direct? Are you giving only the necessary instructions, and are you prepared to back those instructions up? Meaning what you say, saying what you mean, following through on a consistent basis. Are you requiring instant obedience? So sometimes we can get caught up in that focus, as opposed to, okay, what do I actually want the child to do here? And that can cause tempers to flare sometimes. So another phrase that's can be used, and it's called collecting before you direct. It just means sort of making a connection with the child before you ask them to do something. So things like eye contact, you know, a hug, a high five, you know, asking about what they're getting involved in, you know. I like to call that joining in their world. So a few seconds of, hey, how's it going? It looks like you're really enjoying that. Looks fun. Sometimes I learned this from a parent coach when I was raising my children. Get them nodding. Oh, you like this program? Yeah. And then when you ask them to do what you want them to do, they're kind of already in that head nodding, positive frame of mind. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at some specific things you can do. And as we do, I'm going to use, let's use jumping on the couch as an example. So as we talk, think about how you might follow these steps with using jumping on the couch as an example. What might you say? So you can get a chance to practice what you might say. So starting with jumping on the couch, collecting before you direct, what might that look like? Getting close, putting your hand on their shoulder. Wow, that looks like a lot of fun. You sure look like you're having fun jumping on the couch. Yeah, okay, and jumping on the couch. You might say, what? In our house, couches are for sitting on. So, practical step number 1, getting close, getting their attention. You might say their name. Becky, couches are for sitting on. Please stop jumping on the couch. Couches are for sitting on. You know, make sure she can see you. Eye contact if you can. And then the next step is tell them what you want them to do. So again, being specific, using a positive statement as opposed to what they're not supposed to do. So take a minute to think about what that might sound like for you. So how might you phrase stop jumping on the couch in a positive way? What might that sound like? Might sound like what I said before. Stop jumping on the couch. And then couches are for sitting on. Or you could even take a chance to ask what the rule is in your house if you have one about furniture, and allow the child to tell you what the rule is. And when you were doing this, it's super important that we take away the threat and the question. So we want it to be positive, and we don't want it to be an option. So be prepared if you say, can you please stop jumping on the couch? Or stop jumping on the couch, okay? For your child to say, no thanks, it's too much fun, I don't want to stop jumping on the couch. So specific again, and clear and concise. And then the next step is you want to give them some time to cooperate. Give them time to process what you've asked. Give them time to make that shift. So about 5 seconds of a brief pause, and give them some time to take that opportunity to be cooperative. Stay close. Don't ask them and then walk out of the room. That, your presence there is kind of what's helping. Your connection to them is what's helping them decide that they want to be cooperative, because you have a connection and a relationship and they want to please you. So if they do what you ask the first time, that's great, and that's a great time to give praise and encouragement, and now think about what that might sound like. What's some specific encouragement or praise you could give your child when they listen for the first time? Wow, Becky, you did that the first time I asked. You stopped jumping right away when I asked. Man, I sure appreciate it when you do what I ask the first time. Something like that. So if they don't cooperate the first time, after the 5-second pause, you could repeat the instruction. The key is that you're staying calm, you're keeping your voice pleasant, we're not escalating, we're not, we're trying to stay calm. Keep voice even and pleasant. Ask again. Please stop jumping on the couch. couches are for sitting on. And then what will we do? We wait the 5 seconds, see what they do. If they cooperate, again, praise. If they don't cooperate, well, this is when we move on to the next step, which is what do you do when they don't do as you've asked, and you've asked twice? So then what might you think you might do next? If yelling or threatening isn't the tactic, what do you think the tactic might be? So positive parenting strategies is you follow it up with a logical consequence. So a logical consequence is something that fits the situation. So using the coach example, what might a logical consequence be? What do you think that might look like? So in our house, it might look like, okay, we've asked twice, the jumping is still happening. It is, okay, I'm going to help you get off the couch. It's time to get off the couch. You have to get off the couch for 2 minutes. You need to be off for 2 minutes. And if they won't get off themselves, you can assist them getting off, and they have to stay off the couch for 2 minutes or some short period of time. The idea being you want it to be short enough that they don't lose interest in the couch so that you can return them to it to give them an opportunity to be successful. So we're looking for the behavior we want to be able to acknowledge and praise, and we want to focus on that. So we're not focusing on the jumping. We're asking them to stop. We're staying calm. We're helping them. So in our house, it was off the couch for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is up. All right, if you'd like to sit on the couch, you can sit on the couch. And if they sit on the couch without jumping, you praise them. Yeah. And sometimes there isn't always a logical consequence. So in some situations, it's just you can't think of a logical consequence. So then you have the options of quiet times, taking a break, or a time out. So quiet time would just be sort of moving them off to the side, kind of like the 2 minutes off the couch almost, giving them a chance to reset and then letting them come back and try again. Timeouts can be useful if you're finding yourself getting escalated or if the child is getting escalated. Gives everyone a chance to calm down. And then again, same thing, you bring them back and let them try again. Yeah. So those are some ideas for using, for getting kids to cooperate. Yeah. So thanks for listening. Again, any questions? penny.pittman@fcss.ca. Our website, www.fcss.ca. Next week, I haven't got my topic quite yet for next week. But I'm going to be doing 2 next week. So I'm going to be doing the one on Wednesday as well. And I'm going to have actually that's the 24th. I'm going to have a special guest. So next week, one on Monday. Following week, one on Monday, one on Wednesday. So, yeah. Have a great day, and I will talk with you soon. Bye for now.